Keith reacted probably badly at the time and threw his toys out of the pram and paid for a while, but he's worked his way back to where he is now, and he deserves every chance he's getting, and because you can see there, he's taking them.
He really is. Though, as we go back to Angus, Jack Kennedy was here just to remind Keith, I'm sure, Angus, that it'll be his ride and he's only keeping the seat warm for him.
Yeah, that probably is the case, Gary, isn't it? But he's done a very good job today, Keith Donoghue. He's had two very easy winners, but you've got to get them round, and he's done just that. Right, let's go to Newmarket. 3:25, handicap over a mile and a half, chartered 5-2, top power 4-1. Arabic Culture is 8-1, it's 8-1 Fly the Flag. Frontispiece is 10-1. Jew Perez is 12-1. 12s Rotherwick and Persian Sun, 14s and bigger. The rest here. Chartered the favourite, 5-2.
Our penultimate race here at Newmarket is the mile and a half handicap, and we're focusing on horse number 6, Amaris, who's going early to post. Dara Keenan is waiting in the walkway for him to come around, her to come round, rather.
Yeah, she ran respectably last time. She has got a win on this course over a longer trip on faster ground. Probably the ground a little bit too soft. Sometimes plays up at the stalls. Just
swishing her tail a little bit and on her toes. That's her. She's followed by number 10. That's Point in Time, a fellow filly.
I think you make a case out for her on the basis of a close run second at Newbury earlier in the season. That appeared to be a bit of a surprise, but she's run respectably on the all-weather since.
5 follows, and that's Chartered, the most likely raced horse, well, one of the 2 most likely raced horses in the field.
Won well in her first handicap at Goodwood over this sort of trip. Similar ground, should be progressive, should find a bit extra again.
Behind that, we have number 9, and that's Arabic Culture for Grant Tuer.
Probably best on the all-weather, and has only had a few chances to show what he's worth on the turf. So more is needed, I think, on the turf runs.
4 follows, Alfredo.
Not in any sort of form. In fact, finished last on all the last 4 outings. Last season's final run on the all-weather would give it a chance. They're trying blinkers instead of cheek pieces today.
Over to the far side, approaching the podium, number 1, Frontispiece for Amanda Perrott.
Dead heated at Newbury as the second win on that course this season. Just looking as though this run after 77 days off might be needed.
Followed by number 11, the most lightly raced horse in the field, handicap debutant, Fly the Flag.
Won a 3-runner race at Chelmsford, but the second horse has won a handicap since, gives her a chance at these sort of weights. She's not the biggest, but she's lightly raced, as you say, Lydia, and should be open to improvement.
She's the daughter of Australia. I'll just hang on until you can see her properly on the far side of the paddock there. And then she is followed by horse number 8, and that's Persian Sun.
Coming back from a 6-month or so break last time with a respectable effort in a small field. That was the first run for Stuart Williams since he bought the horse at the July sales. And you think that Stuart might be able to eke a win out of this one somewhere down the line. And PJ McDonald, who rode last time, has the ride again.
Number 12 follows, and that is Top Power for Andrew Balding.
Another one of the lightly raced 3-year-olds. Hood is put on this time. He has sometimes been keen in the past. Ran well at Windsor on soft ground last time.
Just a handful of horses left to pick up. 3 horses behind, just disappearing behind the podium. Number 3, Jus Perez, and that is for Declan Carroll, number 3.
Just 1 run this season. That was on the all-weather at Southall. A decent effort to finish second. He's just as good, I think, on turf, but very lightly raced, must have had a few problems.
Number 2 follows Zach Mayo, who returns from 524 days off.
Similarly, Zach must have encountered a few difficulties in his career, and we really don't know what sort of form he's going to come back in after a long layoff.
And finally, over the far side of the paddock, approaching where the winner's enclosure is, number 7, Rotherwick, the mount of David Egan, who's looking for a double.
They've been trying to make him a mile and a half horse, but all his winning form has been over shorter. He is one of those sort of nearly horses, doesn't really win enough times for his ability, and probably better on faster ground.
That is the devastation left by Top Power. I don't quite know what happened there, but we do have a recording of it, as I understand it.
Yeah.
I can also tell you that Amaris has been withdrawn. The signs were there. She was in a bad mood and she refused to go down to the start, so she's out. And something happened with Top Power and Sylvester Sousa. There we go. Good grief.
Yeah, dumped him and crashed through the rail. So somebody's going to have to go and repair the rail. Have to decide whether Sylvester's fit, whether the horse is fit. He's carrying his leg at a slightly odd angle, isn't he? It's off hind leg. Hope he's all right.
We were already running to Newmarket time, and now it looks like there's going to be a further delay.
Yeah. Anyway, they're going to have to repair the rail. There will be another delay to this race.
Joy unparalleled. So, hopefully, Top Power and Sylvester are going to be properly checked over. We're already one down, as I mentioned. Amarise withdrawn because she refused to go to the start. They tried to take her early to post and she just wasn't having it at any price. It looked like she was in a bad mood in the paddock as well, didn't she?
Indeed, and she's done this before, played up at the stalls, so she's out. He looks like he's going to be in because Sylvester's got back on board.
And now they're going to repair the rail. Right, so let's have a look at the betting for a race that has already been eventful and we haven't had a stride of it yet. A couple of interesting lightly raced fillies towards the 4 of the market. Chartered is one of them. She is 5-2. Top Power 4-1. Arabic Culture 7-1. Persian Sun 8-1. The other filly that I was mentioning there in passing was Fly the Flag. She's 8-1. 9-1 Frontispiece. 12-1 and upwards. The rest. Shape of race. How do we think this is going to be run?
Frontispiece tends to make the running. Top Power, if he ever gets there, will maybe be challenging for that. And Fly the Flag, who's quite a diminutive filly, made all when winning, or made just about all at Chelmsford last time. I don't think this can be good for Top Power. He's crashing through the rail. He just didn't look in a particularly happy mood earlier on the way to the start, and Sylvester had to slow him down because he was going too fast, and now he's holding everybody else up.
Yeah, and he wants it in his head, doesn't he? And he just doesn't look that cooperative at the moment.
No, he ran all right last time on this sort of ground at Windsor, and he made the running himself that day. Just kept going. It did look like the setup of this race ought to have suited him, but you wonder about his demeanour now, don't you?
I do a bit, I must admit. Chartered, though, well, she's a filly full of potential, and she won at Goodwood last time very comfortably, a good defeat of that super filly Hyana.
What is amazing is that quite a lot of these horses today have been getting sweaty in these handicaps on the late end of the card, and there's another one, Chartered. Just her 5th run today. She seemed to enjoy the ground, and she won very comfortably. And she's got a £7 higher mark to contend with today, and she's also been off a few months as well, and you wonder where she's disappeared to. They may, of course, have been waiting for this sort of ground.
Daughter of Frankel, out of time saved, and Rob Hornby, as you can see there, takes them out. Let's discuss Arabic Culture, shall we? You ventured, when we were looking at him in the paddock, that so far his proven form is on the all-weather.
It is, and you know, he hasn't had that many chances, just 3, and 2 of them were his first 2 runs of his career. And he wasn't beaten far in a biggish field at York on his only turf start in recent years, really. So
look at him, he's a wash,
and he's absolutely bathed in it. I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem that hot down here, but they're all getting a lot of them are sweating. And yeah, I'd consider him, if this were an all-weather race, he'd be right up there amongst the favourites. But he's 3rd favourite here, even though he's not. I don't think his turf form really shapes up, and he is unproven on this sort of ground.
But he's had a super season. Grant Tison really well with him, just brought him on steadily. He's finding improvement all the time. Absolutely,
and another good effort at Newcastle last time. He proves him. He seems to really like Tappiter more than anything else, although he has a win at Kempton as well.
Persian Sun is just having his 3rd start of the season for Stuart Williams, and only his 2nd start for the yard. Interesting.
Yeah, he was bought from Simon Crisford for 18,000 at the July sales. Interestingly, had the tongue tie straight on first run for Stuart, and it was a respectable run in a small field here. He ran as though the run were needed, and they'd had him 6-7 weeks after the sale. We could see a better performance. And interesting, Stuart's gone for the same jockey as well, PJ McDonald, he uses a fair bit, but he's got to know the horse last time, so we could see an improved performance. He's down a couple of pounds as well.
So there they are, patiently waiting at Down Royal. I'm sorry, Gary, this is Newmarket time.
No worries, Lydia. Certainly not your fault anyway. And it's not going to be too much longer here by the look of things. Gordon Elliott looking for his 5th of the day, Ruby.
I have to love the efficiency of the I-Head RB officials so they can get the races on time. It's amazing.
That's your specialised subject. If you're ever on Mastermind, race times I think would be the one,
That's
wouldn't
going to
it?
be the new one for me, yeah. Competitive handicap chase. Jack Dillinger looks like he's going to line up good and handy. He'll probably go forward, but I would think Miss Lovett maybe for Gordon Elliott. Each way at 6 to 1 would do me.
And there's a few quid for it as well. 15 to 2 into 6 to 1. Davy Russell's looking for the treble. The Elliott team already on 4 for the afternoon. Been some very impressive performances amongst them as well. And fancy debutant in the bumper to come later on as well. Pencil full of lead. 2 chances for the Elliott team in this as well. Global Jackpot, Keith Donoghue also looking for his 3rd of the day. Runner up, beg your pardon, 3rd at Sligo last time.
Paddy Graffin, the starter, is approaching the rostrum on the bottom left here shot, or he
Well,
was.
sooner had you said about them getting off on time, eh?
But they were ready to go. I don't know what, they were obviously waiting for something.
So the runners taking at least one more turn here. And just a reminder that James O'Sullivan replaces Liam Quinlan on number 8 in this reach up for John Ryan. Liam Quinlan not riding here today. Jack Dillinger, the horse with the headgear there, looks as though he's going to be good and prominent, as Ruby was saying. Also called the Barman, lining up to be prominent here for Gavin Cromwell. And Ogla Nahogla with the red cap, one of those disputing favouritism at the moment. Hearing that the starter is on his rostrum now, so let's go to Richard.
We're just taking another turn at Down Royal, and I'm afraid we're going to have a clash with Newmarket because of the delay at Newmarket. They're still loading the stalls there for that 3:25. Looks like they're going to go at Down Royal, so we'll join Richard Pugh there in Ireland.
Handicap chase over 2 miles and quickly on towards the first, which will be the last on the circuit. Jack Dillinger going to rise in front as they clear the first, which all have done safely. Racing in second is Cole the Barman. Acton Time is third. Araigla Nahegla is towards the outside, being followed on the inner by Mrs. Lovett. Kazakh Noir is next, with Global Jackpot just behind as they head into the turn. And they're being followed towards the back of the field by Reach Up. Powers Bomb is last of all. But Jack Dillinger has quickly gone clear as they head towards the 3 fences, bringing them away from the stands. Jack Dillinger, oh, he was awkward at that one. He did well. He stayed pretty straight, which assisted JJ Slevin. Global Jackpot wasn't foot perfect, but Jack Dillinger now comes to the first of the tests, the first of the ditches. And over that one in his own way. In second is Cole the Barman. And they're being chased in third towards the outside by Araigla Nahegla. Acton Time is on the inner. Kazakh Noir is next. Mrs. Lovett just behind them, then Reach Up. Global Jackpot, and last of all is Powers Bomb. Heading on towards fence number 4. Jack Dillinger. Slightly reduced advantage. Had a good look at that one. Steadied right up into it. Surrendered. And Mrs. Lovett was the one who took a chance over that one. She just stepped into it a little bit. Mrs. Lovett, and surrendered a bit of ground, but Davy Russell still where he began. On board as they now take the turn, bringing them into the back straight towards fences 5, 6, 7 and 8. Cole the Barman has taken over now from Jack Dillinger, who's now being a little more careful, and the one that took a chance at that one. Over the far side, as they go over the far side on towards the next, was Kazakh Noir. So Cole the Barman, Jack Dillinger, Araigla Nahegla, Acton Time and Kazakh Noir. And Mrs. Lovett is in fact being pulled up following that mistake. Won't be going any further, so coming on towards the next now, and it is Cole the Barman who has the advantage under Chris Timmins, from Jack Dillinger in second spot, JJ Slevin, Araigla Nahegla and Mark Enright third. Acton Time, Mark Walsh is 4, and then Kazakh Noir and Liam McKenna is next. Reach Up under the change of rider. James O'Sullivan is next, and they're being followed by Global Jackpot and Keith Donoghue bidding for a treble, and Powers Bomb under Owen Mahon is last of all. So now they continue to make the turn, heading on towards the 7 furlong point, towards the 2 fences behind the clubhouse, and up front with the advantage it is Called the Barman, who leads over from Jack Dillinger was awkward at that one. Called the Barman leads Aregla Hagler, reach up on the inside of Jack Dillinger, act in time between them. The final ditch is coming up. Kazakh Noir is wide in the red. Powers Bomb and Global Jackpot the back pairs. They'll end over that one and begin the climb, bringing them up towards the top bend. And it's Called the Barman who leads them up, being followed in second spot towards the inside by Aregla Hagler. Jack Dillinger's trying to hold position. Act in Time is right in there in the white cap. Reach Up's on his inner. Widest of all is Kazakh Noir, Powers Bomb and Global Jackpot, although the back pair are still very much in touch. So 8 of the 9 that set out hold big chances here as they turn at the top of the track in the Ladbrokes Handicap Chase. And it is Aregla Hagler on the inside of Called the Barman. Jack Dillinger on the inside. Reach Up, act in time between them. Global Jackpot is creeping through on the inside. Kazakh Noir's ridden.
Okay, Dan Royal, they're turning into the home straight at Newmarket. Not far to go. We'll join Mike Cattermole there.
Final 5 furlongs of the race. So they've gone past halfway, and it's still Frontispiece who's the leader. Alfredo off the bridle on the inside, coming under a strong drive now. Travelling strongly is Top Power on the near side. Chartered is covering the move on the right. Just behind them with the yellow armlets there is Persian Sun. Fly the Flag, the grey fillies coming into it on the inside as well. Together there with Zach Mayo, who's trying to pick up 2. And there's anybody's race really as they come down inside the final 3 furlongs. Top Power is coming through with Arabic Culture to dispute the running. Persian Sun. Frontispiece is trying to battle back, and then just into point in time rather, and the yellow cap is really moving strongly on the near side with Chartered, who's under a bit of pressure, and his run is just petering out a little bit as they go past the 2 furlong marker. Arabic Culture, Top Power, and Point in Time on the near side. Now these 3 are going to fight this out. They've drawn clear of the others as they race down into the dip here. Arabic Culture, Point in Time on the near side, Top Power between horses, and they reach the rising ground. Arabic Culture, Point in Time, and David Probert on the near side. Arabic Culture and Jack Mitchell on the far side. Point in Time begins to get up, and Point in Time gets there. From Arabic Culture, Top Power in third, Fly the Flag fourth, and these were well clear of the others.
Having been patiently ridden in last place in the early stages, Point in Time comes through for David Probert and Mark Usher to win at 25-1 our penultimate race here at Newmarket. It was a good tussle with Arabic Culture, who is hardened from several battles on the all-weather and didn't go down without a fight for Jack Mitchell and Grant to gap back to Top Power, who is more prominently positioned than either of the front 2, and Fly the Flag on her handicap debut was back in 4th. Here are the closing stages with Top Power in the blue and white rolling around in the dip, and the winner, Point in Time, on the near side with the yellow cap, coming to challenge Arabic Culture.
And David Probert keen to deliver as late as possible. She rather threw away a race at Newbury when produced earlier. There's a stewards, we'll have to look at the head on in a minute. The horses presumably came very close together, but she looked as though she didn't really want to be in front very long, but David just poked her head near the line, ahead of Arabic Culture, who was in front before that. Top Power, who wandered around under pressure. We saw him wandering around on the way to the start before.
Here is the head on. The stewards klaxon for interference potentially affecting the result, having been sounded here at Newmarket. It did look as though Point in Time, second from the right there, drifted to her left and at least intimidated the eventual runner-up Arabic Culture and carried him across the track. But let's have a look and see what exactly happens.
Indeed, Point of Time, the horse past the post first is on the right-hand side. Arabic Culture, red and black colours on the left. Top Power between them, don't need to worry about him, he finishes third. Coming down inside the closing stages, Probert's just switched his whip to the left hand and the horse starts to hang across the other horse. They still haven't touched, but has just carried the runner-up slightly across the course. The stewards will look at the interference. There has been a bit of interference, the distance involved. I can't hear because I can't hear the tannoy from here, but I suspect there's one ahead. I feel they'll let the winner keep the race because she's won comfortably, but really Probert shouldn't have pulled his whip through to the left hand, so he's given them a chance to throw her out. I don't think they will though.
Yep, agree with everything you said there. Here are the closing stages. Point in Time, first past the post for David Probert and Mark Usher. Let's rejoin Angus. I think the winner keeps it. What do you think, Angus?
Yes, I agree with you and Eddie, Lydia. I think the winner will keep it. There was a little bit of intimidation, carried the runner up across the track a little bit, but I don't think, but for that interference, the runner-up would have won. Robin Seal 11-8 here at Wetherby, 3:40. Handicap hurdle 2 miles. Phlegmatic 4-1, well backed. Flying Tiger 11-2, 9s and bigger. The rest of the front two in the market really well supported, James.
Yeah, Robin Seal switching between fencing and hurdling, won very nicely over the bigger obstacles 9 days ago. Consequently, no penalty back over hurdles, and he looks particularly well treated. So I think Robin Seal can win here. Yeah, drama at Down Royal with Call the Barman coming down at the last. There's the full result for you, and we will talk to Gary and Ruby about that race when we get a moment to do so. We're just at Wetherby now for their penultimate contest. Not quite as competitive as the previous chase that we had, is it, to be honest? Flying Tiger's a horse who's regularly takes support, isn't he? Yeah, no, he's had a couple of starts for the Philip Hobbs team. Well back on the first occasion, and for me a little bit disappointing when finishing 5th, and unfortunately he stumbled and I see his rider last time just around the bend, not even at an obstacle. So again, another horse probably want to get a clear round today. Tom O'Brien rides for the first time, but I'm sure Philip Hobbs will find the key to him at some point. But there are still question marks about a very useful horse who just lost his way last season and he hasn't resumed yet. No, he hasn't, but he may have his day yet. He was very well back last time up, actually, Flying Tiger, but he was a little bit disappointing. We're just trying to get news on that Call the Barman's jockey at Down Royal. He had quite a heavy fall. You may well have saw that at the last, and he was down for a while, but we understand he's up okay now. He's just got up, so he's taken a heavy old fall. But he's up all right, which is really good news. Okay, at Wetherby we're just about ready to go. The flag is up, the starter's on his rostrum, so we'll go and join Gareth for this one.
Thank you, Angus. Yeah, the runner's just about to come around that part of the rail and form some sort of a line. So the runner's approaching the starter.